Good evening. Hi. It's good to be here. And let me start by saying that my name's Michale Aquanda, and I am originally from Kenya, though born in Tanzania. Then my parents came from Kenya. And I'm so happy to be here today. And correct me if I said it wrong, Tryon United Methodist Church. What a beautiful place to be. I feel so bad that the beautiful house that Charlotte and Jim are having up here are only going to host me for one night. I think I needed to be here for more days. And with the stories of bears, I've never seen a bear with my own eyes. I think I need to catch up with those bears. Ted is telling me bears are next to his house, and Nancy is saying sometimes they hang around there. I want to be there. Just to see them. Up there is beautiful photos of kids and some of the activities that we do in the ministry. And as you enjoy looking at them, let's listen to me as well. I may not necessarily be able to speak like you do. Some of the things that I'm saying may not be very clear to you, but please, I won't mind you asking me to explain again, and to explain again, and to explain again. Let me take this opportunity to thank Phil for allowing us to be here, and the mission team. I really want to thank you for that step of faith to allow me to come here. I work in Kenya. And Kenya has over 2.5 million orphans. Most of them as a result of HIV/AIDS. Parents dying from AIDS. HIV/AIDS is still a huge pandemic. It's still a huge, in fact, it is a national disaster in Kenya. Most cases, when a man dies from HIV/AIDS, men tend to die first, and then the women follow. But when the women are left behind as widows, they are left with the kids to take care of. Most of our women are not working because they're not well educated. That means they'll have to work with their hands to be able to fend for their children and for themselves. Sometimes it is not easy when the relatives of the men takes everything that the men had and saying, you can go find a place somewhere else. They will find a place somewhere else with the kids, and it will be very difficult for them to feed those kids. As a result of that, Kenya has over 10,000 street boys or boys living in the street. In Kisumu alone, we have about 5,000 homeless boys. Now, I know you know what homeless look like, but it's not anything closer to what homeless boys in Africa look like. Those boys have just one shirt and one pant, and mostly it's a short, and it is dirty as a grease, and that's what they wear. The only opportunity they can get to bathe is to go to the lake, which is nearby, called Lake Victoria. These kids end up getting into drugs. First of all, when you get into the street, the first thing they do for you is to introduce you to glue, shoe glue. And they're constantly sniffing shoe glue. And sometimes, if chemists are here, you'll know how bad it is. They mix shoe glue with gasoline, and then they sniff it. They don't know when it is raining, and they don't know when it is hot. They don't know whether they're run over by a vehicle. They're constantly under influence of those drugs. Most of these boys end up being thugs, being muggers, being rapists, being thieves, and they die young because people don't like them and beat them at the slightest opportunity. And they get killed on something that is most commonly called mob justice. I don't know whether it is mob justice, but I think it is mob injustice that is happening in their life. Life for Children Ministry take care of orphans of HIV/AIDS. What we do is we go and now we've been there since 2006. Everybody knows Life for Children Ministry is going to take care of an orphan if they get that orphan. But here's what we look for. We look for the least of those orphans. We look at your family tree, both from where your mother came from and where your father came from, and we check if there's any relative there that might be working and that might have some little money to support you. If there is none, we take you and we call you the least of the least. We do not have orphanages, but we now look for an extended family, an aunt or an uncle who may be willing to take you in. But because they will not ordinarily take you in, because they also have about 10 children of their own that they cannot take care of. So we say, can you take care of so-and-so or John, for example? They say, yes, but I can't feed him. Or we say, look, we will help you alongside to feed John, to take John to school, to give him medication. When he's sick, we will ensure that John has shoes and boots and uniform. Without uniform in Kenya, a child cannot go to school. So we'll make sure that these things are available for John. But again, we can't do this on our own. So that's why I'm walking around, talking to people. Would you be able to sponsor a child? Sponsoring a child with Life for Children Ministry is $65 a month. That includes food, tuition, uniform, books, anything that the child may need, and even health care in that child's. We realized that we were just supporting the children, but then what about the guardians that are living with the children? And so the ministry quickly thought, if we do not take care of the welfare of these guardians, our support might go to waste. And it is possible. So we started investing in the life of these widows. The widows that some of them have been kicked out of their homes. We brought something called microfinance. I don't know if many of you know about microfinance, but or you can call it a small loans for the women to do businesses. In Africa, you support a woman, you support a family. If you give a man resources, you are actually perhaps helping the brewer next door, because he is going to drink the little resources you give him. So it is important to support women. The reason why perhaps these friends of ours here are so close to us is they've been there, and they can see that they've walked into centers and into little shopping centers, and they found men just hanging out and telling stories and enjoying themselves, while their women are toiling, looking for food to feed their children. And sometimes when they get back home, they will beat those women for having not have provided food. Some of them are lazy. And so we decided to bring microfinance or small loans to empower women, so that some of these women that some of them were even prostitutes, some of them were drunkards, some of them were having issues, because of stress. They can today confess, or we can take our children to school, we can have food on the table, but we are human beings again, with dignity and honor. And if somebody came to abuse them or demand sex from them because of a little food that will be put on the table,